Porsche came out with the new generation of 992, 911 Turbo S models for the one-to-one market, and as I'm a pretty big Porsche fan, I couldn't resist not getting the scale model of it as well, but since it's in a pretty boring silver to black combo, I decided to completely change it up and rebuild it. Of course, I'm going to do it as the same way I've done it before, strip all of the plastic parts and then strip the paint off in order for it all to be repainted. With all of the plastic parts now removed, it's time to put the body into a plastic bag, pour some of the paint stripper on it, and let it do its job so I can start over with a fresh, clean metal body. I let it soak for about a minute until the stripper has done its job, then pour the remainder of the stripper back into the bottle for reusing in the later stages and on other builds, of course, and then start cleaning it off with some water, sanding the entire body down with 400 grit, cleaning it off again, and then moving on to a fresh couple coats of primer. So I had a play with the configurator on the Porsche website and decided to go with a blue exterior and a red interior. For the blue, I decided to go with a Galaxy Blue from the Subaru BRZ, and I'm not sure if it was ever used on the Toyota GT86, but it's that same platform. I really like the color and the look that it gives on this specific model, so I decided to go with it. The first coat was covering pretty well, so I just kept that light and easy, and then moved on to the second coat, going a bit heavier, getting a bit more coverage, and in the end finished it off with a third coat, but it's not really worth showing as it's pretty much exactly the same as the first two. A couple of the trim pieces on the exterior, like the inlets for the air on the side and also the side skirts and some parts on the front and rear bumper, needs to be painted black. Now normally these are matte black, but I really wanted them to be gloss black, so I decided just to paint them on with a brush from Tamiya and some Vallejo paints. This is acrylic paint, so it is safe to be clear coated over with the 2K clear, and just do it by hand and have it in a nice glossy finish once the entire body is clear coated. I managed to source a couple of Porsche decals, so I applied that, of course, as well. I let the decal dry for a couple of hours and then started mixing the clear coat to apply a couple coats of clear in order to make this all nice and glossy. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the interior is a black and it's pretty boring in my opinion. It looked fine with the silver exterior, but since I'm repainting it, of course, as you could just see in the blue, the red interior would look really good on this as well. So it was all stripped down similar to the body itself, and then primed with some Zero Paints plastic primer, and then all painted red with a Ferrari red interior leather color from Zero Paints as well. I did not want the entire interior to be bright red, so I decided to mask the top section of the dashboard off to preserve that navigation screen and also a couple of the gauges that were in there as well, and it does give it a nice contrast. Some other parts were painted on with a brush and some black paint from Vallejo by hand. So I decided to spruce up the interior a little bit more by adding some silver around the vents and also on the steering wheel, and also some gloss black accents on some of the interior trim pieces. To go along with the top section of the dashboard in a flat black, I decided to do the top section of the door cards in a flat black as well to match it nicely and continue that line in the interior. And with that, the interior is all finished detail-wise, so it can start to be assembled. And with that final piece now glued in place, this one is finished. I'm really happy with the outcome. It totally transformed the car and it looks a lot better in this blue with the red interior than the boring silver. Not that there's anything wrong with the silver, but it just didn't pop as much as this car does with a bright color like this one. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of it, and maybe give me some inspiration for future 143 scale rebuilds.